All right. Let's go. Oh, let's go. Come on. If I gotta be here, you gotta be here. Good morning. Good afternoon. How is everybody doing on this? I can't believe it's gonna effing snow again Monday. Between this afternoon, tonight, tomorrow morning, it's supposed to be snow. And then we're gonna have I don't know, 3, 4 straight days of rain. And then we go from the mid 60s and over the weekend to the mid 70s by the middle of the week. And the Panthers can't win a game. We can't win a game. We can't win a freaking game. We're 3-7 in our last 10. Do you know that if instead of having gone 3-7 in our last 10, if we had just gone 7-3, nothing obnoxious, right? 7-3 isn't anything absurd. You win a couple of games, you lose one. You win a couple of games, you lose one. And you win a couple of games, and you lose one, and you win a game. And you're 7-3. If we had gone 7-3 in those last 10 games, we'd be tied with the Bruins. That's all. That's all. The stupidest, simplest amount of positive results. I won't call it effort. I won't call it luck. We'll just call it the stupidest amount of luck. You blow 2 points last night. You blew a lead against the Sabres. Ooh, you beat Toronto. Now, we did beat the Bruins in the shootout. Gave them a point in that game. The game previous to that was the 5-3 shellacking by the Sabres. The game previous to that, we lost to Winnipeg 2-1. The game previous to that, we lost 5-4 to the Blues. The game previous to that, we lost 4-3 to the frickin' Mammoth. Just a little bit of a ding-dong here and a little bit of a ding-dong over here. And don't even talk about the Lightning game. We just didn't even show up quite literally for the Lightning game because they knew they were toast. And yeah, it's a tough spot to be in. I'll be honest with you. We won 2 cups, and that's great. I love it. But I will say that it feels unnatural to sit here and be like, yeah, it's all right. Hey, look, they're tired. Let them rest. You can be right when you say that. I say it. All right, doesn't look like we're any good this year. Go ahead and start resting, guys. But it don't feel right. It feels like shit. Kind of like I feel like shit most of the time. That's how it feels. It feels like shit. Good morning. Chucking around. How we doing? You're wearing all black today for the funeral. Yeah, I should have worn my Black Panthers shirt. Mixed scientists. In the next 22 games, 18-4 or better to make the postseason. 12-10 and 0 or worse for a top 10 lottery odds. The latter seems more realistic at this point. They're currently 2-7 in their last 9. Yeah. Find out today, too, if Cunning clears waivers, which I assume will be followed by activating Nosek on LTIR. I didn't even know he got put on waivers. Usually I depend on, I pay to, I give George Richards the $350 a month or whatever it is for his articles and whatnot. Usually that's where I get my news, if not from here. I didn't see it, but I could have missed it. Dana says, I'm in a theater about to watch the epic lost footage of Elvis. I miss the old days of theaters and the reality of the season has hit you. I haven't been to a theater in a long time. One movie in the last two movies, I think, in the last decade. I went to go see Bohemian Rhapsody. Saw that twice, actually. and one of the Jurassic Park movies with Kyle a while back. Pixley again. Oh, come on. Hold on. Am I going to have to restart the laptop again? Why is this only happening? Yeah, there I am. Oh, shit. Why morning streams and it's not happening during the game at all? Let me restart the laptop. I'll be right back. God damn it. All right. Hopefully that fixed the damn problem. Yeah, hungry. Yeah, the computer. I don't know what the hell's going on. The laptop don't like the noon streams anymore. Doesn't give me any problems during the game. No problem. 3.5 hour stream. No problem. As soon as I go live at noon, yeah. Jesus. How about can you see why I had a heart attack? I about had it. I had it. Susie says, I think the number of games blown with less than 10 minutes. We've had a ton. We've had a bunch of them. And last night was a perfect example of why people think the recaps are fake. Because if you watch what I said after the second period, I almost verbatim said there's been a lot of games that we've blown in the third period this year, and I have a sneaking suspicion that we're fixing to do it again. And it's exactly what we damn did. Have I tried punching it like a jukebox? I've considered throwing it like a Frisbee hungry, but I don't have the money to replace the damn thing. Matthew says, perfect. At least now we know what's going on with the computer. Now we just got to fix our team. Unbelievable. Oh, what was that? Dumb, I have to upgrade my subscription. Yeah, I'm going to upgrade my subscription to life. I'm going to upgrade my subscription to life. I'm going to go with the how the hell do I get out of this shit option. That's what I'm going to go with. Mick says 3 times this season with under a minute left. Before that, it was 2 times in 5 years. God damn. And it might be saving us for some embarrassment, right? Like, if we're just not good enough, we're not good enough. I mean, what would happen to us if we did make the playoffs and we go play Tampa? Like, are we sure we want that on our resume right now? This team against the Lightning, being all pissed off, getting that we took them out the last couple of years. I'm not sure I want that on our resume right now. I think we'll bypass that shit right now. Glitches for cats and laptops. He says, yeah, at least this time they scored before the other team put it in the empty net. What are we doing? We got 2 minutes left. We got to get a point, you dumbasses. Bennett cheats. What did he do? He cheats for offense. He goes for the steal. He misses the damn steal. And then I don't even know what that was that Ekblad was doing. Why are we not just sitting back like a couple of schmucks? Why are we pinching? It doesn't matter if the Islanders get to overtime. Damn it. And yesterday was a prime example of why, because we finally get freaking Kulikov back. He's on the second pair. Why? Because Balinskis is out. So what happens? You got Sabrango. What's Sabrango do? A stupid-ass giveaway in the defensive zone that leads to the 4th goal. Yeah, Craig. Yeah, it shows how important Jones is. Yeah. What we need to do to make the playoffs and what we need for a top 10 lottery. Now, we all know we ain't getting that top 10 lottery pick. We all know that. Okay? Unless they actually sit guys. You know it ain't happening. Come on. Kenneth says Jaws wants that Ekblad defensive rope back, doesn't let him leave his. Yeah, exactly. The damn the shot collar. That was a collective goal. Because Bob, I think Bob must have been licking the ice. What the hell was Bobrovsky doing on that goal? It was such a multitude. It was such a multitude of fuck ups. It perfectly encapsulated the entire season. That one play. Bennett screwed up. Ekblad screwed up. I don't know what. I guess Forsling was assuming Ekblad had the guy, and so he's making sure he can't leave a drop pass. I don't know what the hell he's doing. And then Bob just gets absolutely just So, Hungry says, never mind the 2 fluky goals last night. The hockey gods want us to get McKenna. Science says, Minosa coming back, we'll just lose someone else. Same with Jones and Gadgerich. It's just a never-ending cycle. It's been the whole year. Kulikov was what? Did somebody, Kevin, did they move? No, not that I've seen. I don't think Bobrovsky's going anywhere. Colin says, I did some looking into this year's draft class, and there's a decent amount of defense, not so much in the goalie prospects. Can we have Bussy back? That's how the year started. Kulikov is out since the second game of the year, right? So it's been the whole season. It's just been incredible. And then, hey David, how you doing, buddy? I'm in fine form this morning. The Bussy thing, that kind of started it. Of course, Barkov getting hurt kind of started it, but you knew what kind of year it was going to be when we lost Bussy on waivers and he started tearing it up. Karma's a bitch, man. We have had nothing but golden, just gold for basically 3 years straight, minus that one damn series against Vegas. Hey, Olechka, I think we're for a world of pain if this is Bob's decline. So Friedman said the Bobrovsky contract negotiations are not going well. Florida wants to pay him as a tandem goalie, and Bobrovsky wants starter money. Friedman said this could result in a trade soon. They're trying to kill me. Yeah, they're trying to kill. I'm thinking about this in reality. They're trying to kill me. It's been obvious for years that the team wants to dispose of this YouTube channel. And I think they heard that I got some heart problems, and they figured, what can we do to kill this guy? What's the final move? What's the last thing that we can do to just that'd be it? And that'd be it. That would do it. That would do it. Because I know Bob has been spectacular and he won us 2 cups and everything, but good God almighty, man, you made your $70 million. You're going to be 38 years old. You're holding out to be the number one. How about what are you doing this year? Don't piss me off. I hope that's fake news. Let's see. Hey, thank you, Frank. Thank you, bud. Appreciate you, buddy. Forsling's getting beat to every puck. That never happens. That should tell you how exhausted these guys are. 1,000%, especially without Jones. Because Jones, why we won the cup last year is because Jones took a lot of the heavy minutes that Ekblad and Forsling were playing too much. Kenneth says you can ask Carolina for Bussy back, but they'll wait 4 overtimes before telling you no. Hey, Kachukin. I would assume that anybody trading for Bobrovsky would have to sign him to the contract. You know what I mean? See, David says the last goal and the first goal were not on Bob. First was a fluke and last just a miscommunication that let their captain go right to the net. The first goal I agree upon. And I'm not saying it's Bobrovsky's fault, right? But fault's got nothing to do with it. We need somebody to make a play. You know what I mean? There's any number of 1,000 goals that could have gone in against the Oilers that would have not been Bob's fault that he stopped, and that's why we got 2 cups. So to me, there's a difference between fault and, yeah, okay, that's fine, but the season's on the line. Somebody has to make a play. Somebody. Craig says it won't matter. Barkov will be back with 20 games left. Marchand, LTIR, and make the playoffs with a fully healthy Marchand. Craig, if that happens, I will sell this channel. I will sell. How much do you think I could get for this channel? You think I can get $50? I would sell the channel if that happens, Craig. Katie says, I'm very comfortable with the Bob Tarasoff tandem. If yeah, I'd be fine with that, honestly. But if Bob wants to get paid like a starter and still start 55 games a year, Rio says, final move to finish Jaws is trading Lundell for Trocheck. Hungry, you didn't see anything? Anybody said that? Kazuma says, if Bob is traded and does not resign, what are our options for next season? Exactly. Now, of course, there is an alternative here. What if those who think Bob is not cooked are wrong? I mean, you ever see World War Z? You ever see World War Z where Israel built the wall, and the reason why they built it is because there was the 11th man or the 10th man or whatever it was, and it was his job to, if everybody agreed on something, it was his job to completely disagree and go with the opposite way. So what if Bob actually is cooked? So if that's the case, then just about any goalie in the NHL right now would be a better option. It's a bit hyperbolic, but you get my point. We ain't going to know till next year. Susie says Zito is not giving Bobrovsky starter money. Well, I mean, starter money right now, I mean, like Swayman got like 8 point something. Like we wouldn't give Bob 2 times 8. We have the money. Goat Sayer says, Jaws, I thought our guys played well, but the pretend Panthers keep costing the team. Can't wait for Boquist, Petrie, and Sabrango. Get them out of Cats jerseys now. Sabrango was not, it wasn't great. It's a problem. Jelly says, I think the Russian players in general are always a bit more greedy. Just some of my observations. Bob got $10 million a year, and let's be real, for a lot of seasons, he was way overpaid. I mean, the 2 cups even that out for sure, but like, I would be extremely disappointed. But if that's the case, like if Bob is asking for like 3 years and like, what does he want? Be a highest paid goalie? And how cheap is Zito trying to get? And if you're going to trade Tarasov, or Bobrovsky, you better sign Tarasov first. We don't have any goalies under contract for next year. Marlboro, man. I hear what you're saying, man. But, they win 2 cups. You're trying to keep the locker room together. There's always different ways to look at it. Right. David says, absolutely cannot let that guy skate in with 30 seconds left. Can't happen. No disagreement. Exactly, Hungry. Bob got $10 million a year when he got signed to Florida, because Bob got $10 million a year because when he signed with Florida, it wasn't a destination. We had to overpay to make him coming here appealing. Exactly. 1,000%. Collins says, I don't think Bob will be traded. Just a bunch of nonsense. Lechka says, I agree that now these contracts are looking a little bit impulsive. We were on a back-to-back cup high, Zito included. But you have to understand, many of them are movable if we needed to. Okay? And I'm not suggesting that that's what we'll do, but they're movable deals. That's one of the good parts of having gotten them on a discount. Of course, they all got no move clauses, so that's nice. But we haven't been healthy all year. You know what I mean? Like, we still haven't seen the full picture. I don't know. I don't think we're going to know exactly what the real genuine situation is until they come out next year. Hungry says, we all know it's going to be Skinner. We just have to come to terms with it if Bob is not cooked, of course. Right, the Verhaeghe one, right. Yeah, the Verhaeghe contract's not spectacular. I understand. Kevin says, Bob is playing awful, looks nothing like last few seasons. We can't ignore that and sign him long term. It's tough because most everybody looks awful right now. I mean, you know, you're not wrong. It's disappointing if it's true. Now, look, we may still wake up and Bob gets a 3x6, right? 3x7. But if he is insisting on like more than Vasilevsky or more than Shesterkin, like I get that we won the 2 cups with him and everything. But what's he got at 870? Like, bruh, you know, at 30, at 37, going to be 38 next year on a contract. You know, and that's the interesting thing is that most of the time, almost all the time, when an athlete is playing for a contract, they play out of their mind. They elevate their level of play, just as Conn Smythe, Sam Bennett, right? Most of the time. Remember, Huberdeau's big deal. Huberdeau's big year, right? So, I don't know. Like, it's impossible to know exactly how much of the Bobrovsky thing is exhaustion, age, and I don't think anybody's going to know wherever he plays until next year. Hey, Seabass, Montour. Yeah, Montour wouldn't be bad right now. He'd have gotten hurt though. Montour probably would have freaking, I don't know. Let's see. Montour's injury. I think Montour probably would have bit his lip eating an apple, and then the lip got infected, and the antibiotics gave him a stomach infection that weakened him so much that he lost 15 pounds and had to take 6 weeks off. I think that would have been Montour's injury if he would have been with us this year. Absolutely mixed in terms of Vilmanis, yeah. Kazuma says, I feel like maybe we should have waited to sign these guys. Maybe we got trigger happy. Well, they had to have contracts. So, I mean, there wasn't, I mean, I understand what you're saying. But I'm not, I mean, you know, everybody needed contracts. I don't think the only guys, there hasn't been a lot of guys that we've extended before they needed deals. Like Luster-Ryan, I think we did, Bohlquist. But Bohlquist is kind of come in handy here or there. Kenneth says, no goalies under contract. Remind you of a Bruins team. Yeah. Yeah, Ekblad, I know. Gwen says, I'm sorry you can't defend Bob anymore after yesterday. What's Greer's trade value, in my opinion? It depends. If he's just going to be a rental, maybe I don't know, 4th, 3rd, 4th, 5th, somewhere in there, 4th, something like that, or a mid-tier prospect, maybe not even a draft pick. David says, still at work, day 12 of 13 in a row. Can we please get a win tomorrow for your birthday? Happy birthday, David. We'll get you a win tomorrow. Damn it. Goldslayer says, Cats have a history of paying up for goalies. Thomas, Luongo, Vokoun, nothing new to pay Bob. If Stock Guy says, if they can't get Bob signed by Friday, I say trade him. You could probably get a late first for him. I mean, yeah, sure. We could probably get a first for him. Or, I mean, maybe a defensive prospect. Which, by the way, since Balinskis is hurt, Why are we playing Sabrango instead of Horvolka? Like, what do I know? Hungry says, to be fair, if we do end up with Skinner and end up winning another cup, it would be the ultimate FU to the Oilers. I mean, 2 goals in a Game 7 Stanley Cup final. That's what he needs to have on his tombstone. When Skinner dies, if he never wins a cup, it needs to say, I gave up 2 goals in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final. So Alechka says, you don't think we should extend Bob? You got to know when to let go. Nicholas feels after 3 straight Stanley Cup final appearances has been wear and tear from shortened off seasons and heavy minutes logged by veterans. Absolutely. On top of all the injuries. You know what I mean? Just like when Barkov went down, it exacerbated what we needed out of guys like Bennett and Reinhart and Lundell so much. And then Jones goes down. And Ekblad and Forsling have to take just so many tough minutes. And no, there's a reason why Zito went out there and got Jones last year. He saw the writing on the wall. Runwood King says, I look at it as the Panthers don't owe Bobrovsky anything, just like the Kings didn't owe Quick anything. Team comes first, not the player. And right, that's the problem, is that there's no starter caliber goalies as free agents this offseason. Yep, Nicholas, absolutely true. So why isn't Carey Price still playing right? Yeah, I get it. Frank's got it figured out. It's the Bill Zito master plan. Bob's a Russian spy. He's going to get traded to the Oilers to sabotage McDavid's cup chance. Now, wouldn't that be something if Edmonton took Bobrovsky? So if the Panthers trade Bobrovsky to Edmonton, do we root for the Oilers? If we're out of the playoffs, do we then root for the Oilers? Or are we like, thanks a lot, Bob? Ghost Slayer says Tarasov should start next season, reduce Bob's pay, and keep him as a backup. Yeah, I get what you're saying about the contracts and Barkov. No doubt, mixed. There's no doubt. It's the team is very much of a team, right? Everybody slots in. I mean, we've seen this before just when Lundell is out, Luosterainen is out. Like, there's a specific function for each of the top 9 guys, and then there's that one rotating spot that we can never fill, right? You know what I mean? Like, is it Samoskevich? Is it Vilmanis? Is it who's in that spot next to Benedict Tkachuk? We haven't really been able to perfectly fill that permanently. But basically, the rest of the way, everybody has their role. And when Barkov is out, it just explodes the chemistry. Hungry says the worst part of all this is we had a replacement where we had no idea he was the guy, then he got claimed off waivers. I kind of, karma's a bitch, right? Don't ask Canes fans about Gustav Forsling. What goes around, comes all the way back around. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? David says it isn't just Sasha, though. Over half the team has been injured all year. Some real ballers here in one bad year. Some real bailers here one bad year due to injuries, and y'all want to trade everyone. Shine says Mackey 100% pooched his golden ticket. That's about right. That's about right. Greer's a 4th in a mid-tier prospect. That's about right. Yeah. Craig says the fully healthy Cats team, we're not even sweating or talking about this and Bob. They may be top 2 in the division, so parts of Bob's decline is missing pieces. Katie says, when do we start rooting for the tank? I don't know, man. I don't think I want to root for something that's not coming. Look, this team, to be honest with you, even if they traded Bobrovsky and they started resting guys and you brought up a bunch of checkers, they'd probably start winning some games or at least getting points and getting into overtime. Now, I'm not suggesting that's what we need to do to improve the team permanently. But in terms of these last 20 games, if Bob was gone, if we tried to tank and we trade Bob and you give Tarasov all the starts, well, he ain't going to be interested in tanking, right? He's now all of a sudden he's playing for a contract to be the starting goalie of a team that expects to win a cup. So just right there, even if we did trade Bobrovsky, we're not tanking with Tarasov. And then if you start giving Vilmanis and Samoskevich more ice time and unfortunately not Schwint, damn it, we can't keep anybody healthy. But if you started bringing up some kids, I think we'd end up getting some of these games to overtime and not getting that high pick is what I'm saying. %, Susie. Greer really stepped up his play this year. Contract season. That's what makes Bobrovsky's play so strange, but I guess he figures 2 cups, that's his contract thing, right? I think Bornfoot is hurt, Sabrango. Isn't he still hurt? So Lil Grayson says the problem is Bob has a 12-team no-trade clause. That's accurate. He could always waive it. That too. We're not going to trade Bobrovsky somewhere he doesn't want to go. I would think, right? And what's interesting is, who knows the teams that the guys write into their no trade clauses. I don't know how that works. When you sign the deal, and maybe nobody knows, but this is the question. He signed that deal 7 years ago. He makes his no trade clause list, right? So can he change that over the course of the contract? Because the 12 teams you wouldn't want to go to 7 years ago are wildly different than the 12 teams that you wouldn't want to go to now, unless it's just all location based. Oleshka says, now that the season is over, can they just annoy and beat the shit out of everybody, at least make things interesting? Oleshka, I think if they had the energy to do that, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I think we'd be in a playoff spot. Kevin says, we let Knight go, and now that kind of looks like a questionable move. Yeah, but I don't think we win that second cup with Jones. Without Jones. I don't think we win that second cup without Jones. Especially remember the second, Ekblad missing all those games last year too, which helped, right? Remember, Ekblad was fresh and rested for the playoffs, right? He didn't get injured. He got suspended. So that's another key component to how we ended up winning that second cup. That suspension did us a favor. That's just the reality of the situation. That suspension did us a favor. Alexia thinks Knight is not that good. We would have been having to make the decision. Yeah, the Oilers waived Mangiapane. Yeah, I think he cleared, didn't he? Exactly, Kachuk. And we traded Knight for a cup. Yeah. Craig says Vilnius has made Mackey expendable. I don't disagree. I would put Vilnius on that second line next to Benedict Kachuk, and I don't know what you do with Samoskevich. I don't know what you do with him. He looked so good last year, but he hasn't, in my opinion anyway, He hasn't improved nor developed at all this year. But Vilmanis, all he does is score goals. Real says there's no guarantee the Canes win a cup with Bussy or the Blackhawks with Knight. We got to, especially the Blackhawks with Spencer, right? Yeah, Vilmanis, yeah. Careful, we said the same thing about Mackey. It's true. You're not wrong. So Kevin says Knight has a .908 save percentage this year. He looks pretty good in Chicago, and Jones alone didn't get us the cup. I love Jones definitely, but a goalie is the most important player on the ice. I don't disagree about the goalie part. I'm just saying that between Jones and Marchand, if we don't make both of those deals, I don't think we get that second cup. Combined with Ekblad's suspension, because he was rested and ready to go and healthy. Kevin says Bob with Ekblad in front of him scares me. It was ugly last night. Exactly, Craig. Scientist says if they end the season out of a playoff spot and not in the bottom 10, I consider this season an epic fail. I mean, prepare yourself. Kevin says, but one player didn't get you a cup. It's unquantifiable. Marchand got us a cup just as much as Jones did. No disagreement there. Roman King says, is Florida just going to chase older goalies like LA has until they find a young stud? Well, we kind of screwed up by letting Bussy go. But you had to keep Tarasov. You're not like you could waive him. But I don't know what we do. I mean, I guess if they're trying to, if what Friedman is saying is true and they're trying to pay Bobrovsky like a tandem goalie, I would assume that Tarasov would be 1 and 2. It sounds like that would be what they're thinking about doing. Again, I say it again. Every time that Bobrovsky has thought one of the backup goalies is coming for his job, his level of play is significantly risen. Could part of his play this year, or have they actually been negotiating and it's not been going well? Could part of his poor play be the contract situation? It's happened before with players. All right, David. Hockey Day says, I'm a Bob guy. He's tired and has no help in front of him. But who do the Kings have if they trade? He may want to join his buddy Panarin in L.A. Yeah, KD. Samoskevich has been very disappointing this season. Now, he's looked better his last couple games with Bennett and Tkachuk. He's at least, there's opportunities there. If he could score. But I think you start to look at the roster, and it's like if Verhaeghe's not exactly a defensive stalwart. He tries, but he's not scoring. And then Samoskevich, which for a minute we thought was going to replace Verhaeghe, he's not scoring. I'm serious. I would put Vilmanis with Bennett and Tkachuk. I would, with what we got right now, I would go Rodriguez, Reinhart, Verhaeghe, Bennett, Tkachuk, Vilmanis, Lundell, Luostarinen, and Marchand, and then Nosek with Gadjevich and Greer. That's what I would 100% put Vilmanis with Bennett and Tkachuk right now. Trade Bob for Kemper. I hadn't thought about that. There would have to be more, obviously, in the deal, though. Kachukin says moving night was not about Jones. It was mostly about moving cap space that would not be used. Huh. Susie says we gave Marchand a 6-year, $31.5 million contract. Could Bob demand the same? I mean, that'd be crazy, right? He's 30. He'd be 38, talking about a 43, 44-year-old goalie. I don't think Zito would do it. Hey, Vincent. He says, hey, Jaws, Maurice completely dropped the ball this year. I hope Bob wins the cup this year and the Panthers stuck with Ekblad for years and Marchand in a losing environment going to age fast. So what do you mean, Maurice? I'm curious what you mean by Maurice dropped the ball there. Of course, I'm way behind on the chat here. Mackey shoots wide, Sam Miskevich. Mackey loses the puck, Sam Miskevich. Come on, guy. Mackey's playing so tight and afraid to make a mistake, and yet he makes mistakes. Mackey off the post, Sam Miskevich. Oh, man. Damn. You guys are harsh. Oh, trade him for Crosby, Sam Miskevich. Hey, Prowagan. I hope you have a good game, man. So Kachukin says Bob's poor play this year is directly related to injuries. What the hell are we talking about? Bob is okay when he's had the best defensive forward in the league in front of him. So the only retort I would have about that, Kachukin, is what about Tarasov's numbers? And it's okay if you say we're playing better in front of Tarasov. That's fine if that's what you think. I'm just curious. Barkov's really not supposed to come back until and unless we would make the playoffs. Miami Sports says we can trade Bob to LA for either Forsberg or Kemper and a forward. Oh, hey, thank you, Kevin. Thank you, bud. Much appreciated, buddy. He says, here's the number one draft pick because 25-26 season is over. Tank, rest all injuries, still won at the deadline, and Zito I trust. I appreciate you, bud. Yeah, it doesn't feel right to say it, right? And there's still the little unrealistic voice back there is like, don't give up just yet, man. But at the same time, like if we had come out and won 3 in a row from the break and we look like ourselves, I'll be like, all right, maybe we got something, right? But to lose the way we did these last 2 games, it's just so disheartening. It's just so, and then you lose Balinskis as soon as Kulikov comes back, and you lose Schwint, and even though Nosek is coming back, and it's just like at some point you just have to look around and think maybe this ain't our year. You know what I mean? Like how many things can go wrong before you accept it? Kachukin says the team has a false sense of security when Bob is in net. Now that's fair. That's probably pretty accurate too, Kachukin. Yeah. Alechka says, listen, we all need to pray for the following scenario. McDavid wins his first cup beating Tampa in the Stanley Cup final. Are they going to do it with Jari, though? Like, don't they still need a goalie? What would Edmonton have to send us for us to trade Bobrovsky? Can you imagine Bobrovsky getting the starters deal in? You know, Edmonton would be desperate enough to do it. What the hell am I hearing out here? Hold on a second. What in the hell? What kind of noises? Oh, I see. Okay. It's a bird on the porch. So what would, because Edmonton might be like crazy enough to do it. Like Edmonton might be like, hey, we only have like a small little window here. Bobrovsky might still be good enough to pull it off. Bobby thinks the Oilers should go for Binnington. He won his cup and his numbers aren't great, but he's a contender. Hey, Ryan. Unless you said pray. Ronald King says, I don't want to see McDavid win one. I would happily watch Edmonton take my team out in the first round every year if it meant McDavid never won a cup. Hockey Dave says, someone is eventually going to lose to a Canadian team for it to be the Canadian team's first cup since 92. Let it be Tampa. Now, what I will say is that I can't lie. I would enjoy seeing the look on Cooper's face if that happened. Kevin Hockey says, we just haven't shown any signs of turning anything around all season. We've looked off all year. Yeah. I think it's 4 straight. I'm pretty sure. I think we won 4 straight once. And other than that, I mean, like I started the stream, we're 3-7 in our last 10. And if we had just been 7-3 in our last 10, we would be tied with Boston. That's all it took. Like we've been 3 all we had to do was in the last 10 games be 7-3. That's not an obnoxious pace. It's not. That's all we had to do. We'd be tied with Boston right now. I mean, it seems like, if we had the gas in the tank to turn it around, like we would have been able to pull it off by now. When Barkov got injured before the season, it did something to the psyche of the team, like Rocky getting rocked by Clubber in that first fight. Our head isn't right. No, they're just not there. They're just not. And look, I mean, to me, I think, and Kachuk kind of touched on this a little bit. When he first came back, or like right before he came back, he was doing an interview about, what the team has been through with him gone and everything. And one thing he specifically said was that it wasn't as much of the physical wear and tear and exhaustion as it was the mental. And, if anybody's been in a situation where you've had to consistently like reach down deep in within you and do something, like there is a limit to that. There's a limit to just how much mental energy you have before you just crash out and need a break. And when I watch them play, I don't really genuinely see a whole lot difference in the physical ability. I just don't see the same burning desire and willingness to dump the puck in, go beat the crap out of the man in the corner, get the puck, and get it back out. I don't see it. I see a lot of coasting and letting the other team get to the puck and then doing what you can to play defense. Kachuk says send Bob to Montreal for Monty, then re-sign him July 1st. So Vincent says what he was talking about was Maurice didn't take control of the team and let them flounder around all year. We know this. And we know this team is all about hard work and discipline. They devolved into bad habits, and it's run with them all year. You're probably right. And that's probably a part of it. I think he's talked about not wanting to push them too hard because of all the hockey they've played. And, and in some ways you understand it. Like Evan Rodriguez, right? Like Rodriguez is like giving us everything he's got, Evan Rodriguez is not supposed to be 1C on a Stanley Cup competing team, right? So there's situations like that. Same thing with Reinhart. I mean, when the whistle blows, I wouldn't be surprised if when the whistle blew that Reinhart just went on the bench and like tried to take a cat nap for the 45 seconds before his next shift. Like you can just see it in his face. Like he is just cooked. Kenneth says, if that happens, if Bob goes to Edmonton and wins 3 straight, does that count for the three-peat? Oh, here's the question. Hold on a second. This is probably an easy answer, but we'll look this up. Has an NHL goalie ever won a cup with one team and then won the cup with another team the following year? No. Based on NHL records, let's see. The closest incidents. No. So it's never happened. No. And there's actually a Reddit thread about it too. So no goalie has ever won the cup with one team one year and then won it with a different team the next. Vincent says Bob played an extra season and 3 postseasons, but he can still win you a cup every year. Scientist says the only way we make the playoffs now is if we consistently go 5 wins and 1 loss for the remainder of the season, something we haven't done all year. The longest streak was 4 back in December. Yep. Colin says, I'm just at a crossroad with Bob's future with the team. I get it. I get it. I do. I think in times like these, the only thing we can do is trust Zito. Right? Like, should it happen, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be upset. I'm going to have all the thing, probably burn Kermit, something like that. But at the end of the day, I kind of have to trust Zito. Yep, exactly, Kachukin. Yeah, Ryan is our resident troll. Ryan's a good guy. You guys don't take him seriously. Huh? So I'm not going to get political here, right? But for those of you who like Trump, you know how he'll say things just to get people riled up, and he's really not. He just says things to get people riled up because that's all Ryan is. Ryan is the Tampa Bay Lightning version of Trump. We'll put it that way. Omar says Florida needs to go 18-4. That'll be tough. That's about right. Kevin says we can save a spot on the couch for Ryan to watch the Cup with us. His Lightning won't be playing for the Cup either. So you don't believe in the Lightning? I don't know. I kind of feel like if the Panthers don't make it in, like I kind of feel the Lightning should win the conference. Now, I don't know that they're necessarily going to win the Cup, but are we really, I mean, other than the Hurricanes, Penguins, the Isles, Sabres, Canadians, Wings, like I don't know. I don't know who's gonna beat them. Ed Belfour almost did it. Lechka says, why are they all like that? Is Tampa's ecosystem contaminated? Well, it is what it is, right? This person says, I'll be cheering for Boston against. You watch the Hurricanes get dominated by another Florida team. I mean, at this point, I know the Buffaloes look good, but just the goaltending alone, I'm not sure. Unless Bussy just absolutely, the Canes are 8-0-2 in their last 5. It's just something else, man. What a year. At least the Leafs aren't in. Vincent says, other than that, the team is way behind on the talent curve. Young teams have arrived and are here to stay. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. We could use a little bit of an infusion of some younger, right? I mean, obviously Vilmanis isn't going to be Celebrini, but I think he could be a nice addition to that second line. Exactly, Prowagan. So, all right, everybody, I got to roll. Tana's getting ready to head out for work. We're still here. What the hell is today? Is Monday, right? Yeah. So we'll be here tomorrow. Oh, by the way, last thing. For the members, I'm still doing the pregame stream for the members. I don't know what happened yesterday. I guess you guys didn't get a notification. So when I create the members stream, I'm going to also post it in the community section for the members, because I don't know what happened yesterday, but okay, scientist. I don't know what happened yesterday, but nobody was there for the member stream. We usually have 15 or so people. So I know Vincent said Vincent thought I didn't do it or something. So I guess you guys didn't get the notification. That's never happened before, but so I'll make sure I add that to the list when I create the stream. I'll make a post so you guys can have an easier link to get to it if you don't. But if you don't get a notification and it's 45 minutes before the game, I'm live. The only time I won't do it, I'll let you know if I'm not going to do it. So, all right, everybody. Appreciate y'all. Thank you all very much for the super chats. Appreciate y'all. We're not dead yet. The coffin is though. They started digging the hole for the coffin yesterday. They showed up in the backyard. They started digging the hole for the coffin. We're gonna bury them next to Fluffy.